Hello, beautiful people, and welcome. In today's video, we're going to be multiplying with your hands. Now, here's the thing with these. This is specific for 6, 7, 8s, and 9s. Yes, you could do 10s with your fingers as well. However, I don't recommend using 10 with your fingers because you just take the number you're multiplying 10 by, add the 0, and you're done with 10s. All right, so I have my fingers numbered here. I also have these fingers cut out, so hopefully we'll be able to see kind of what we're doing. Let me show it this way for you. Let me move this out of the way. All right, disclaimer time while I'm doing that. If I make a mistake, I'm sorry, I am human. Just let me know where the mistake occurs, and that way you and I can both learn from my mistakes. All right, that did not help, so I'm going to put it back on the sheet of paper and do that. I will be using my own hand, so you're going to be able to see better. So what we have our left hand and our right hand. On our right hand, I'm labeling my pinky 6, 7 is my ring finger, 8, middle finger, 9, pointer, and then 10 is my thumb. Same thing here, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So how you're going to be doing this is when you're multiplying, you're going to be putting two fingers together, you're going to be adding, and you're going to be multiplying smaller numbers at the same time. So I'm going to go ahead and write out some steps for you, and then we can follow those steps. So step number 1 is take the two numbers you're multiplying, take the two numbers So take the two numbers you're multiplying. You're going to take those two fingers and put them together. So let's do an example at the same time as writing those steps. So let's say I have, let's do 6 times 9. So here are my two hands. Oops, sorry about that, you guys. I don't know if you heard the AC turn on. So here is 6 is my pinky, and 9 is this finger here. I'm going to put those two together. Do you see how I did that? Let me move this sheet of paper, see if that helps. There you go, that does help. So I'm putting those two together. My 6 and 9 are together. This creates two groups. Again, 6, 9 are putting together. Notice that there are fingers that are touching. There are fingers above them, and there are fingers below them. So, step number 2. This creates two groups. You have group 1, which is the touching fingers. And the fingers below. Your group 2, let's say, group 2 are the fingers above the touching fingers. So let me draw out a quick sketch. And again, I do not claim to be an artist. And again, I'm pretty sure you're laughing at me, and that's okay, because I would laugh too. So we have our 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and we have our 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We are putting two fingers together. We're putting our 9 and our 6 together. So there they are. So then I have two groups. I have the fingers that are touching. Here they are. So this is group number 1. So I'm actually going to highlight the fingers that I'm referring to. So these are touching. So this is group number 1. and the ones that are below it. So is there any fingers below 6? No, but there are fingers below 9. So I'm going to put them in group number 1 as well. So anything that's highlighted in yellow here, hopefully you can see it. No, you can't. You're going to be able to see it in a little bit when I put a paper underneath it. There you go. So highlighted in yellow, that's in group 1. We have 6 and 9. Those are touching, group number 1. Then we have 8, 7, 6. They are below 9. They are smaller than 9. So they are going into group number 1. So this is step number 2. We have those 2 groups. So step number 3. If you have group number 1, so the fingers that are touching and below, each finger is worth 10. So if, let's say, you have 7 fingers, then you have 70. If you have 6 fingers total, then you have 60. If you have 3 fingers, so 2 touching and 1 below, then you have 30. Group number 2 has 2 parts in it. So fingers above, so above on the right hand and above on the left hand. And you guys, my OCD is kicking in because this should be on the left hand side. So this is your left hand, this is on the right hand side, and this should be your right hand. You didn't have to do that. You kept it the same thing. So you have the number above the right hand and you have the number above the left hand. And I did it again. It's okay. So take those 2 numbers. Take that number, take the other number, and you're going to multiply. You're going to multiply those 2 numbers together. When you're done multiplying, you have step number 4. And that is you take however many you have from step number 3 here, and you're going to add to whatever this equals to. And then you have your answer. All right, let's go ahead and actually use our fingers to do an example, okay? Let's actually use our hands to do the example. And I'm going to pause it. I'm going to see if I can find something underneath to have those hands show up a little bit better. Give me a second. And we're back, beautiful people. Hopefully you can see the hands a little bit better. Again, we will be using my hands as well. So we were talking about how to multiply 6 by 9. So we created these steps. Make sure you have your steps in front of it. I will be reading the steps. So step number 1 is take 2 numbers that you are multiplying. So in this case, we're multiplying 6 and we're multiplying 9 together. You're going to put those 2 fingers together. So here you are, 6 and 9. We're putting those 2 fingers together. After you put those 2 together, we are now on step number 2. It says this creates 2 groups. Group number 1 is everything that's touching and lower. That's group number 1. Group number 2 are the remaining fingers. So I have anything that's bigger than 9. So I have 1 finger here. And then I have anything bigger than 6, which I have 1, 2, 3, 4 fingers on my, left hand. So again, anything that's below the 2 fingers that are touching and including the 2 fingers are in group number 1. In group number 2 are the remaining fingers that are not touching and are above your touching fingers. I'm going to get a highlighter here real quick and highlight the other things. So now we have step number 3. On step number 3, we said that each finger that is touching and below is worth 10 points. So for our solving the problem, we're going to kind of do a simpler problem to find the answer to a more difficult problem. So how many fingers do I have? I have that are touching, 1, 2 fingers that are touching, 3, 4, 5 fingers. So I have 2 fingers touching, and I have 3 fingers below. So that means I have a total of 5 fingers. Each finger is worth 10 points. So I have 50. And we're going to put that in a thinking bubble. So each finger is worth 10. So this is 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. Okay, so now that I've taken care of those fingers, what's left over? You can see that I folded those fingers. I have 4 on this hand and I have 1 on this hand. So if you look at step number 3 for group number 2, I have a number above the right and I have a number above the left. So above the right, I have 1 finger. Above the left, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 fingers. I'm going to multiply those two numbers together. So on the left hand, I have 4 fingers left over. On the right hand, I have 1 finger left over. So I'm going to multiply this. So 4 times 1, that is equal to 4. Now we are on step number 4. And step number 4 says, hey, you're going to take whatever you got here and add whatever you got here. So I'm going to say 50 plus 4. So my answer to what is 6 times 9, and that is 54. So let's write this out. That way you can better see it. That is 6 times 9 is 54. Let's do another example. We're going to go a little bit quicker on this example. Let's do 7 times 8. And I'm going to zoom out a little bit to show you with my actual fingers. So 7, here's 7, times 8, here's 8. I put those fingers together. Each finger is worth 10 points. So I have 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fingers, 2 that are touching, 3 below, 5 fingers. Each finger is worth 10, so I have 50. I'm going to write that number down. 7 times 8. Right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 50. Now I'm going to take these fingers, I'm going to put those fingers away, and these are the ones that are left over. Do you see the ones that are above? So above I have, on my left hand, I have 1, 2, 3. So I have 3. And on my right hand, I have 2. So I'm going to say 3 fingers on this side times 2 fingers on this side. So I'm going to add to that 3 fingers times 2 fingers. So 50 plus, what is 3 times 2? 3 times 2 is 2, 4, 6. So my answer to 7 times 8 is 56. Let's do one more. Let's do 6 times. Let's do 6 times 7. Here is 6 right here. Do you see the 6? And here is 7 right here. So I have 6, 7, and 6. So I have 2 fingers that are touching and 1 finger that's below. So each finger is worth 10. So I have 10, 20, 30. I'm going to write 30 down. I'm going to add to that the fingers that are above on my left hand, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 fingers above on my left hand. And on my right hand, I have 3 fingers above on my right hand. So I have 4 fingers above times 3 fingers above. So 4 fingers above times 3 fingers above. So now I have 30 plus 4 times 3 is 12. I'm going to do a thinking bubble off to the side. So I have 30 plus 12. 0 plus 2 is 2. 3 plus 1 is 4. So my answer is 42. All right, beautiful people, this wraps up this video. I hope that you enjoyed learning how to multiply your 6, 7s, and 8s and 9s using your fingers. As always, please practice this so that way you can get better. On a test for our school, we don't allow calculators. So no one's going to take away your fingers. Have this trick. You don't need to memorize your multiplications. Have this trick in front of you. No one's going to take away your fingers during a math test. All right, beautiful people, thank you so much for spending your time with me, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye.